up till I'm on top.
Yo,
Yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. TGIFF. It's Friday. We've made it. Congratulations, one and all. We're at the weekend, a football weekend. It's a big college football weekend, an NFL slate on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we don't have any UFC. No UFC this weekend. That's a little disappointing. After firing on the card last week, having some internet difficulties here. So let's see if we can get through this here. A little slow on the upload here today. They're trying to keep us from getting that money, I think is what they're doing out there. We've got action, though. We've got baseball. We've got an interesting baseball card today. A couple double spots. Double up spots, not double dip spots, but double up spots. We got the Athletics and the Pirates with respected sharp betting action coming in. Toronto and Kansas City, Miami and Texas, Cleveland and Minnesota. We'll wrap up the baseball card with Philadelphia and Arizona. Then we're going to roll in and talk the WNBA. There's one WNBA playoff game on the card tonight, and it's only right that we have some action in that spot. Elimination game, and we've got two college football games on deck. So we got ourselves some work to do tonight. Literally, I'm having this internet challenging right now. Let's see if we can get this thing figured out. Let's see if we can figure it out. Okay. I think this will work. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are ready for a glorious weekend. I'm looking forward to a little break in the in the UFC action, although I'm disappointed because I tend to cash a lot of money in that sport, and I don't want to miss it, but we're going to do what we have to do. We're going to get through it. We'll find a way. It's okay. We'll load up on college football. We'll start capping that thing here. Already capped a bunch of games for tomorrow's slate. Got the report, the Sharp Respected Betting Report. All kinds of tools to help us get to the cash this weekend. And it's going to be fun. Looks like a really good college football card. And the NFL, of course. Look, be remiss not to shout out the Miami Dolphins. Get that plus 12.5 I gave out here last night. And a bunch of props on top of that. So it was a glorious Thursday night football game. Actually, for what a lot of folks thought was going to be a blowout, certainly wasn't. Certainly was anything but. This is the zigzag. Everybody said Buffalo. What did I say? This just seems too easy to take Buffalo minus 12.5 points. They don't cover. They don't cover as big favorites, and they did not again last night. Cash some good live bets. Cash some prop bets. Gave out a slew of prop bets here on this very show. I talked to you guys about it. I said, hey, you got to take Josh Allen to get 2+ touchdowns. Why not? That guy had nothing last week against the New York Jets. And then parlay that with James Cook for an anytime touchdown. That came out to plus 150 for a guy that was minus 175. Pretty solid. James Cook over 69.5 rushing yards cash for us as well. That was an easy, no sweat bet. In fact, I gave out live pre-show James Cook to get 25 yards in the first half and James Cook to get 25 yards in the second half. It was even money. Easy cash. Gave out a live bet too last night for the Josh Allen under 219.5 passing yards. Cash that one as well. So it was a very good Thursday night football game. Got a live bet there too in the fourth quarter, minus 7.5 on the Bills. Played it both ways. That was plus 350. Plus 350 to get that cash out there. That was big. It was big. It went right into the old bankroll, and it was a good start. It was a good start to the NFL season that we're having right now. What else went in the direction for us out there? Well, we didn't cash Baltimore. That fucking guy comes in. That middle reliever is just a pile of dog shit. Gave up 7-0 final. Probably a Baltimore night tonight. I hate to say it. I'm not laying it, but just seems like, look, last night was plus 180. That was a really nice price tag here. Trevor Rogers for the Baltimore Orioles makes them a plus 105 dog today. We'll talk about that game. Maybe I'll add it. Maybe I'll add that play. Maybe I'll add that spot there. But look, Cincinnati Reds got the win. It was 1-0. It wasn't pretty. It was anything but the team was motivated. We have another spot like that tonight. Another spot identical cap to that tonight. Should be fun to talk about that game. Look, what else? Quinn Priester stunk the joint up there for the Brewers. They did win. They did come through and get the win, but they didn't cover the first 5 for us. So it was disappointing. We did get the under 159.5 in the playoff Seattle Storm Las Vegas Aces game. Tight one. Vegas Aces will advance. I expected that. I don't know, 7.5 points was the spread. They didn't get there. I expected them to get there, but the under got there for us. 147 on a 159.5. And we cashed the under 7.5 in the Dodgers-Giants game. 2-1. Interesting spot in that Giants game tonight because, gotta look at some of these storylines and what's happening out there. We talked about that game, said specifically it's a revenge spot from the previous, was just 2 series before that. The Dodgers lost to the Giants, and now they're back at home. And tonight's spot, what makes it special, is it will officially be the final home start for Clayt the Great Kershaw, announcing his retirement at the end of this season. And the line's priced accordingly. They were minus 136. They're now minus 182. Woo! What do you do? That's a tricky spot. We'll talk. I'll give you guys some of the splits on those games as well. Let's see. I mentioned the one WNBA game on the card tonight. It's an elimination game. It's a later start, so we got plenty of time to get there. And these 2 college football games have some narratives I think you guys will enjoy as we kind of break those spots down as well. So all in all, yesterday, look, official plays down like a unit. I'll give you an exact number. Down 1.3 units. What are you going to do? Tried to take some big swings. We had disappointing part for me is that we had such a big week going there. I wanted to stay positive all week. That one got away from us a little bit. So we're still up like 15 units on the week. So it's all good. It's okay. And then the live bets, the live show, of course, that's where it's always been at. That's our bread and butter. That's how we started this thing. And we got more cash. So that's what we do. That's why you join us live. That's why you spend the time with us. Grab a cocktail, get yourselves ready to go, put your feet up. Let us navigate the play-by-play calling and the live betting window for you guys to try to get paid. Now, get paid today is what I want to do. So we've got, like I said, lots of work to do. Never enough time in the day to do it with this 6 p.m. time slot. What's going on here? Seems like we're getting built. I don't know, this internet thing, man. Come on. Let me see. Let me do that. Let me do this. See, the whole damn thing's just running so slow today. They're throttling me. I think they're throttling me. It's not what we want to see. Do this, do that. Okay. What are you going to do? The show must go on, and we got to get it done before the internet zips out on me again. I don't know what's going on. It's a beautiful day out, 65 and sunny. Birds are chirping. There's no reason the internet should be working backwards at a snail's pace, but it is what it is. Always is what it is. Speaking of being what it is, it's time for you guys to show some love and support. We need your help to build the channel. We got to get this thing booming. We do that by smashing the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. Give it a click. We will be loaded up this weekend. So you'll find Ramon Scott Saturday, 9 a.m., Sunday, 9 a.m. I mentioned there will be no UFC. So looking for plays, looking for action, you best check out the community post tab. We're going to post action over there. Do some members all access plays. We'll give out some gold level plays for the gold card. If you guys haven't done so already, consider upgrading to give us some support. We do not have big business backing us financially, and we depend on you guys. So if you're playing blackjack, playing roulette, playing baccarat, you win a bunch of money, you don't think twice about throwing a couple bucks at the dealer. Consider our winnable program. Not only can you tip the dealer, but get all of our best bet selections. It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right. You guys know the deal. This is my favorite time of the show. We get to talk about your best bets. What's your guys' actions on? We've all been marinating on the card all day. We're all trying to do the same thing. That's beat these bookies. So get those plays in the chat. I want to shout them out. I shared something with the fellas, one of the chats that we have today. I thought it was a fascinating follow-up to the Canelo-Crawford fight. Combined earnings, Canelo and Crawford. This is the spot that was the Super Bowl of boxing. We went live for that after the 6.5-hour UFC stream. Them two boys earned a combined $200 million. Amazing, Canelo and Crawford. $200 million. What's most amazing about that is the entire UFC roster in 2025 has earned $210 million. That means every single fight combined, every fight from January 1st through today. A lot of fight cards in there. What we got? Probably 30, maybe 30 fight cards in there. All them boys combined, and girls, combined for $210 million. One fight, Canelo Crawford. It's amazing because I find the boxing product just to be boring. Made some good money. We were on the dog in that spot, so it was all good. But I just thought that was some fascinating information that I came across on the Twitter sphere today. I don't know about you guys, but disparity of wages in that process. Nonetheless, let's get to it. Shout out to Ray Otachi, rocking in here, stepping in. First commenter in the chat, Ray. Appreciate you, my man. Nicholas Handy's here. Ray Otachi says Bears Cowgirls under 51.5. It's too public, though. Yeah, I kind of think there's going to be a lot of scoring in that game, Ray. I already gave you guys the Cowboys plus 2.5. Gave you the Broncos at plus 3.5 as well for the Sunday action. So there's a couple of early bets you can get in there. Write them down. Put them on the piece of paper so you don't forget them come Sunday. Shout out to David in the house. Jay Main says, yo, what up, gang? And there's Wine Time Sports, my man. Holding it down on the West Coast. Says, what up, Mikey, in chat. Shout out to you, Wine Time Sports. Peter Gracia says, TGIF, Mike. Driving but tailing. Appreciate you, my dude. Be safe. Drive carefully. Pay attention to the road. You can always go back and catch the replay. Magnifico 88 says, yes, sir. Give me your play of the weekend. I gave you two. I gave you two right there. I'm looking to fire up on the college football card this weekend. I think it's going to be a really strong card. Gotta try to trim it down. There's just too many spots I like right now. Gotta. I know I like to cast a wider net, but it's tough to look at every game and get excited about a play. Shout out to Stop Geoengineering. David says O's are dog shit, but most likely they bounce back tonight. Well said. Well said, David. Trap God likes the Astros tonight. Irish King says, what are we cashing on today? Let's get it. Aubrey's in the house. Derek B got that Tupac plus 1,100 anytime touchdown 5 minutes before it scored last night. Great job. There's a lot of good live betting last night. I've moved on to my weekend ledger, so I don't have the full detail of all the plays that were given out, but I know the boys were firing last night. It was a fun show. It was a fun game. Shout out to Jay Main. So the Marlins live. Jay Main says, text now minus 150 was minus 169 this AM. SF Niner says, scared money don't make money. No money, no honey. We do in the house. He knows we're going to bring the heat. Tech B says, O's first 5 plus a half. Nats first 5 plus a half. Rays, Toronto, Rockies, Padres, and Rangers parlay. Thoughts? My thoughts are drop those plus a halves. Boost your plus money opportunities. And look, the way I looked at those two games, I didn't see them both in the scenario where they're going to be tied at halftime. They're either up or they're down. Increase your ROI. Well, it's your call, though. You know, some guys like that plus a half. It's like I told you guys with the O's game or the Orioles game last night. Yankees win. They're winning. They're covering the run line. So why take the run line at the plus 110? Take a shot for the plus 180. We lost anyways. At least we had a bigger swing for it, right? SF Niner says he called the Tupac Shakur touchdown, but Tyreek killed my parlay. Appreciate Magnifico. Silent Rob says KSW stream, eh? KSW stream. Subhuman Gaucho's in the house. He's giving you some boxing. You know, our combat correspondent. Going to give you guys some combat action. He likes boxing. Gloria Mongulia. Plus 138. Julia Gulia. He says he'll play at the plus 120. Also available on FanDuel and DraftKings. Somebody, I'm going to write that one down. Yes, I am. Writing it down right now. So, FF Dennis says, let's switch it up today. Start from the bottom to the top, Mike. You gotta start with college football and then roll it on up to the beginning, to the top of the card. Well, it's tough because the first game we have on the card is the Pirates and A's. And look, it's a 6:40 start. It sounds like a fake name when he says it. I was thinking sub. Shout out to Nathan Cerna in the house. Likes the Guardians money line. I'll tell you this. There's a couple spots where there was sharp, respected betting coming in today. This happens to be one of those games. It happens to be the Pirates. Now, I told you guys, this week and next week are two tough spots to get involved when you're looking at the cash lines like we are, the cash flow splits. First and foremost, the sharp bettors are done betting baseball. They're done. Why? Because you've got too many unknown variables when it comes to the pitching and hitting staffs. Playoff teams will sit players throughout the rotation, not as a regular. They won't skip a whole series. They want to keep them loose and keep them warm, but they also don't want to get them torn. So they're going to pull guys out at the last minute. That's why the lineups are super critical right now if you cap via lineups. So when we start seeing cash flow and we see the percentage of bets, we see 34% of the bets. You know the deal. If you're new here, we look at the percentage of bets typically associated with the public betting. It's the soup. It's everything that goes into it. It's parlays, it's teasers, it's player props, it's straight tickets, it's $5 tickets, it's $1 tickets as long as your arm. It's the whole package, the whole smash. Then we look at the percentage of money and typically associate that with sharper bets. They're not necessarily sharper just because they're bigger, but generally, especially this time of year, if you're putting a lot of money on baseball, I'm going to take for granted that you're probably pretty fucking sharp. So, as we look at this line, we see 66% of the bets are on the Athletics. They open at minus 104. They're now minus 110. That puts us in a dangerous spot because the Athletics now become a favorite. But 69% of the cash on the Pirates. Then you look at the total, it hasn't moved. Maybe a little move to the over. Maybe. I mean, it's minus 110, but it's minus 104 to the under on that 8.5. You got 88% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over. And I think that the first glance, you look and see Mitch Keller And who wants to be on the Mitch Keller team? Even the Pirates don't want to be on his team. But we do have financial predictability with Mitch Keller. Specifically, gives up 2 runs. He eats innings, he gives up a few runs. It's a Pittsburgh team. It's not Paul Skeens. So we get the best that we can make out of the situation. His last 3 games, he gave up 0 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs. And he went 6 innings, 5 innings, 7 innings, 6 innings. So it definitely tapers off the bullpen. The other side of the game plan, as you're looking at the Athletics, is Luis Severino. And Louis gives up runs, and he gives them up in bunches. 5 runs his last game against Cincinnati. That was at home, too. He just fired off at 3. This is a tricky schedule spot. 3 straight road starts. Comes home for a cup of coffee. Goes right back on the road. And the season's pretty much done. So that's kind of where I began this process. And I was looking at it thinking, well, Pirates have lost 4 straight games. They just dumped a bunch of them to the Cubs. And the Athletics, they were finding W's. 2-1 in that series against the Red Sox as dogs every single game. They also gave it to the Reds a little bit there. It's tricky because, yeah, we cashed that Reds last night, but what I tell you about their bats, like it's not necessarily a position of strength where you want to get involved with that team. They're just inconsistent. Now, the situation was Cubs just clinched. They were out the night before, and they had to travel. I told you there's another spot on the card that fits in the exact same criteria, and we're going to play it again because it cashed last night for us. But that being said, the Athletics roll in here for another road series in a row. And look, it's the buy low, sell high situation. Friday, team off a loss versus a team off a win. The team off the loss finds a way to fire back. That's the Pirates. They're back at home. They played them Cubs. They had a tough series. They're still at home. No travel on a Friday. And I correlate the Friday to the fact that they get like the max attendance, right? It's like your home field, max attendance. People are excited. It's Friday. It's TGIF. Everyone's ready to roll. Problem is it's the Athletics, so I don't know how up for that game you get, but 37-21 in those spots out there. And and I'm going to I will, my friend. Hang on. Sit tight. It's coming. Do. So anyhow, as I'm sending this link, I am taking the Pirates. Sharp respected betting coming in on there. Want to get in on there. And there it is. Let's see who's gonna get in here. We might have a special guest tonight. Oh, fucking nasty Nate. Ruined a good surprise on you. Shout out to Vitalis. Man, sorry I'm late. I was going through my Twitter feed, and you guys would be blown away on how many cappers are on at 22-6 runs this week. Is it us? I think we're on that run. All right. Let's move on to game number 2. As we're going to roll into this one again, another spot with sharp, respected betting. Before we get there, we've got time. We got the boys getting ready. We're going to have some special guests here to jump in. Let's bring them on live from Atlantic City.
Love you, scumbag. What up, Mikey?
What up, boys?
Mike.
What up?
Shot time.
Shot time, huh?
It's shot time, Mikey. We're on the beach, Mikey. We're living life.
Look at you boys, man. How's the
We're
weather?
watching the show. We're watching the show. We're looking to make some money. We're live here. We got the bar behind us.
Nice.
We got the Ferris wheel behind us. It's gonna be romantic tonight, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
I missed you on Thursday, but I still love you, my friend.
Love you too, brother, man. We made some money. We did what we did. We held it down for you guys. Shout out to the Who Bangin' and Razor Sharp Pick Squad in hot Atlantic City, man. Look at you boys. There's
we
it.
got Ixnizzle in the building.
Hey, Mike, I got something for you. Come on.
Oh, he's got something for you. Yo, Mike.
Hey.
You ever meet my Uncle Terry before?
Don't tell nobody.
I don't think so.
My Uncle Terry, he's got some good cherries. Show them the cherries.
Uncle Terry's cherry.
We got Uncle Terry's cherries. Show them the cooler. We got a cooler here. Oh, look at them. These have been sitting since 2020, Mike. They've been sitting since 2020, and we're taking them. We got cherries on deck. We got the ocean on deck. Man, this is a life, Mikey. We wish you were here.
How about it?
Yeah, I'm jealous, man. I used to frequent it when I lived in Philly. It was only a hop, skip, and a jump away. We'd go out there a couple times a month.
Yeah, I paid $20 to Dylon. I said, I dare you. I'll give you $20 if you jump into the ocean. And he jumped into the ocean. It was a beautiful thing. And look at Nancy Nate. You never see him on camera.
There he is.
He's still as ugly as we all thought he was.
If that's the wrench right there, boys and girls, you see him live in person.
Yeah, this is the wrench. He's the one who will kick you out of the chat if you talk slick. All right, Mikey, I see it's 6:30, so it's almost kickoff. It's almost time to get that. I got a question for you, Mikey, while we're live here. Iowa, Rutgers, who you got?
Rutgers Moneylines.
I got Iowa.
Iowa!
I got Iowa. Boys, listen, the kid coming in from the FCS, he ain't no joke. He ain't no bitch. I'll tell you what else. I'm going to double dip that game and take the over in that spot as well. I think we see points in that spot. Points tonight. Contrarian play and then some, because Rutgers has an air game. How about that? Rutgers traditionally not the best team to throw the ball down the field, but you guys will get a sneak peek. I'll give you guys that play right now while you're talking about it, while you're asking about it. I got the over 46, and I got the Iowa money line. Iowa money line, like minus 125, I think was the price tag. That team just hasn't quite gotten it together, but man, they look sharp in preseason there when they were working out in the squad. I mean, they had the wide receivers. They just made a lot of change in chemistry on that team that I think bringing in an FCS quarterback adds the experience. And I like the over the most because, again, Rutgers now has an air game. They can toss that thing deep and around the yard, and I think that's going to make the difference out there. Look, they allowed yards as well. They allowed 446 rushing yards. That's almost 6 yards a carry. So if Iowa can get that thing going, they'll score. Rutgers should be able to fire back and score. I think the over is a good look out there too, boys.
Sports Money Mike, I love you.
Let's go.
Too,
Mikey
Nick.
likes the Iowa. Oh, I'm going to give a shout out to you, Mikey, on everyone. Shout out to Sports Money. If y'all not follow him on YouTube, make sure you follow him right now. We're live with him, right, Mikey? We got everyone looking at you. I'm not embarrassing us. I'm just giving a shout out to everybody.
Let the people know we're trying to print tickets,
I missed you
baby.
yesterday, brother. I wish I would have been live with you, but we'll be live soon, my friend. I'm going to get out of here. We're going to take a couple more shots. I'm going to take a couple more shots, and then a couple more shots after that. So cheers to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to become a member. $4.99 a month, 16 cents a day.
Look at this.
Boys, enjoy yourselves, fellas. Be careful.
Hey.
16 cents a day, become a member. Sports Money, Mike Money. If you haven't seen The Martian in real life, you're missing out. Cheers, Mike. We love you, brother, and we'll see you soon. Get that cash, Mikey.
Bada
See you,
bing.
boys. There they are, the boys in hot Atlantic City having a good-ass time, it looks like. And I would expect none other than that. Of course, I spent some time with them boys in Texas, and I'll tell you what, they know how to do it right. You're ever considering if you're doing it right, you got to go spend some time with them, and you'll realize you got to step your game up because them boys bring the heat. Shout out to all you guys checking in with us. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Hey, we went a little out of rotation there to get the boys feedback on that there. We got a little Iowa double dipper. It's the Iowa spot on the money line and the over in that game. Toronto and Kansas City. Again, I was talking about this one right before we had our guest on here. And look, we know that the Toronto Blue Jays coming off a shutout loss. Ordinarily speaking, those are spots that we want to attack. In this case tonight, though, we got to look the other way. Two things. One, again, sharp, respected betting report came through. They said, no, we're not backing Mad Max Scherzer at 5-3. But this is the deal. It's one of those teams that we talked about. You're pulling line. This is the number one team in the AL East, right? They're pulling guys in and out of the lineup. It's a 500 squad at home. You got Kansas City starting Lorenzen. Granted, the team doesn't pick up wins behind this guy, but it is, I believe, a favorable matchup. And Kansas City's coming off that shutout loss. So we're going to nullify the shutout loss factor and one up. In fact, Toronto 7-0 to the under after a shutout loss. So what that tells me is when these bats get cold, they stay cold. And in this case here, we're catching plus money. It validates it with the sharp, respected betting analysis. How can you not take a fire on this thing here at plus 118? I think Toronto's just getting to that point where they're getting ready for the postseason. And check it out. 84% of the bets, 93% of the cash on the Blue Jays. There's no way they lose again, but hitter-friendly confines of Kansas City should be able to go out there. 93% of the bets, 93% of the cash on the over in this game. And yeah, that line hasn't moved, but it's set at a key number of 9. So what I suspect here with the cash coming in on the over, and we're seeing it juicing to the under, I don't think you're catching a treat out there. I think Vinny Pasquantino's got some favorable, comparable numbers. He's been hitting pretty well as of late as well. So there's a guy that I like for the RBI spot, but I'm going to take this plus 118 price tag. I think you got to take a shot with these guys here against this Blue Jays team that's playoff bound. And if you're Kansas City with 2 series left, what a better way to go out there and put a stamp on the season than Friday night in front of your home crowd. Showing them how you do it, showing them what you do about it and how you're going to get paid with it. So that's the way we're going to roll out there. Travis Davis says, that's the alcohol talking. Nasty Nate's got the Celtics in the second quarter. Tarek says, any thoughts on Rutgers first half plus 1.5, then the Iowa full game? I like Iowa full game. So yeah, you know, like my concern about the Rutgers full game, Tarek, if we're going to look at this game and I talk about, you know, Iowa's a pretty run aggressive team, and Rutgers can let that run get away from them, as I just talked about with the yards they gave up that last game. So what happens here is when you're in the trenches and you're running the ball, it starts to abuse that other team's defensive line. Your big guys know the play call, and they're sitting around guessing. They deal with physical fatigue and mental fatigue. So what happens now is that second half, things start to pull away. So if I was going to be on Rutgers, it'd have to be in the first half. I think that what happens is by the time, even if you've got a passing quarterback, which they do, the ex-Golden Gopher, Kelly McManus, probably didn't say that right, but at the end of the day, high probability, he's off the field in that second half because they just keep pounding, moving the chains, grinding the clock, tick, 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 tick. So, you know, that being said, we'll see what the big challenge for me with Iowa here is. Can Mark Gronowski get his shit together? Comes over, South Dakota State transfer. We know the story and the history of that organization in the FCS. It's FCS. But he took the step up to the big boys and look, UMass. He went 16 of 24 for 2 passing touchdowns out there. So, yeah, they're a pretty run. Well, I wouldn't say run heavy, but they've got the ability to go counter the Rutgers shit rushing defense, having allowed 446 rushing yards on the first 3 games of the season. We'll see what happens. But if I was going to take Rutgers, it would be the first half only. I'm on Iowa for the full game. Let's go. Red Sox are going to smash, says Nasty Nate. Red Sox trifecta. Nerfy, first 5 and full game, Red Sox. There you go. There's a Red Sox analysis for you. Shout out to Irish King likes Tampa Bay on the money line here tonight. Got me kicked up. I feel kicked up with them boys checking in from Atlantic City. I'm jealous. Wish I was there. Let's go Miami and Texas Rangers for this next spot here. This is the first double dipper on the card. First double dipper on the card. Look, I already told you. Part of the challenge right now, this time of year, who's the respected cash? Which respected cash is coming in and where's it coming from? The Texas Rangers have 83% of the bets and 82% of the cash. Yeah, it's come down 11 cents, but it's only moved 1 cent on the Miami Marlins side of things. So it is a pretty public heavy team. It's Junk and Molly. Thing is, Molly's been firing. And they're winning behind this guy. So, you know, we get down to Globe Life, and what happens is we start to see things kind of shrink up. The runs become hard to find. Not only is it a Globe Life runs are hard to find situation, but we've got some intersecting zeros on the spot as well. Texas finds themselves 8-0 to the under when they're coming back home if they are a favorite and on a 3 or greater road game prior to that. 3 or more games on the road. Returning home, maybe a little distraction, but the margin is the key piece out there. The average runs being scored, 4.2 runs per game in those Texas spots coming back home. And we know Miami, feast or famine with that offense. Now, Jung should contribute to Texas keeping that game under. Texas 11-0 to the under if they're a home favorite. And the bullpen didn't allow a single run the previous game, leaving 4 more runners on base. Doesn't that just make sense? Your starter's doing his piece. The bullpen does their piece. Of course, it's 11-0 to the under. And it's an average runs being scored of 4.6 per game in those spots. Then we bring it home. We intersect it with Miami. 15-0 to the under as a road dog. If they scored 34% of more times that they had runners on base, and they're averaging 6.2 runs a game in that spot. What that tells me specifically with Miami, I talked about the inconsistency with the squad and the bats, and they were favorites, which is an anomaly to begin with, and they scored an exceptionally large amount of runs. Your runners on base, you're driving them across, and it tells me that they just don't sustain that. If you hid the team names and you said A or B, it would make sense that you would have to say Miami's the team that if they scored a bunch of runs, tend to go under the following game, and it's because they jack the number up. The number gets artificially inflated. And look, Texas still something to play for. 47-26 at home, I believe that squad is here. This is a good spot for Texas. I know the numbers come down, and that we've talked about this 3 times now this week. The numbers come down. It puts it in range for me because we're getting it at a discount, right? You ever deal with your elderlies and they get the coupons in the mail. They feel they got to go buy something because they're getting a discount. And that's kind of how I feel with this Texas Ranger set. Razor Sharp says the Phillies are going to smash. Shout to Kelly V in the house. SF Niner says just put in a 14-leg parlay for 50 cents to win 541.52. What are my thoughts? I mean, I like the concept. Why not? Why not 14 legs? It's only 50 cents. Who gives a fuck? Makes sense to me. SF Niners, Kelly V says, take the best 7 round robin 4 games. How do you pick? You got to chop that in half and keep her moving at that point. So we'll keep her moving. We'll get to this Cleveland game because I got another double up spot. I opted in this case. Whoops. Where'd it go? I opted in this case when it comes to this spot. Instead of parlaying these together like we did earlier this week for that plus 340 score, I opted to keep these separate. Because I guess I don't know what we're going to see from the Minnesota Twins. It is Pablo Lopez. And it's Messick on the Guardians side of things here. But look, the Guardians have been red fucking hot. Can't argue that. And they're trotting a lefty out there. So instantly, I know a team in Minnesota, we saw Minnesota had that big game. I mean, I guess they had a couple runs. They've been producing here. But ultimately, at the end of the day, 2 back-to-back losses to the New York Yankees. They played the Diamondbacks. They played the Yankees. And now you've got that 2 big series, mental exhale, take their eye off the ball, and the Cleveland Guardians have been smacking everybody. They swept the Detroit Tigers. They've been on a red-hot tear, and we've been on them. Now, the thing is about the under in this spot, we know a couple things. AL Central teams, when they play each other, they're going under over 65% of the time. So they see each other frequently. We talked about this kind of Midwest mediocrity. They're not the best. They just don't have stacked lineups, right? They're not the big dollar Dodgers and Yankees. So unders are certainly a thing. And Cleveland, historically, I talked about this after the All-Star break, tends to run to the under. Why? Because they're usually pushing for a playoff spot and they're out there playing playoff baseball. Next on the line, heading the guillotine, trying to do whatever they can. But then you got Minnesota that comes into this thing. Minnesota comes in 0-12 in the rematch spot, not the revenge spot, the rematch spot. In other words, they beat the team the previous time, left a ton of runners on base, 6 or more, and had over 30% of their runners cross the finish line. So similar situation, just like that last spot. Team just can't string them together, and that is the Minnesota Twins. That's a team that we said they win in bunches, they lose in bunches, and that stat says this is a losing spot for the Minnesota Twins. I'll take a swing with them as well. Now, I know, look, A little nerve-wracking continuing to ride the Guardians at this point, but they've been firing. And, they've got my confidence. They're going to get my coin, and they're going to shift them through zero. Plus 104, now minus 105. 73% of the bets, 68% of the cash on the Cleveland Guardians. I kind of think, no, I'm not going to say that. It's one of my favorite spots of the night. I'll say that. But I really like the under. 93% of the bets on the over, 83% of the cash on the over. And it started at 8. It's come down to 7.5. Tricky, tricky, tricky. All those factors, double up, double dip, small card for us. So we're trying to kind of maximize, inflate our opportunities and value out there. Unit on each, or break it in half if that's what you want. Shout out to Cameron Sinet says, let's go Braves. Damn, I was looking at them Braves. That was the first cut. I see they're up. It's early, but they're up. Better to be up than down. That is for sure. All right. Last game on the baseball card. We already talked one college football spot with 2 plays in that, but I got to disagree. They are the spot. We'll just call it the spot. Team clinches the division. They're popping tops. Everyone's getting jacked up. They're traveling on the road. Checked out. Rotational challenges. You're bringing now you want to validate that. 1 versus 1. We talk about this with the starting pitchers. Ryan Nelson, is he the one? Well, he's got a 3.34 ERA for the Arizona Diamondbacks, but they're going to Taijuan Walker. TJ's been getting busted up. And I think the revenge extracted by beating the Dodgers. We saw the Dodgers just 3-4 weeks ago come into Philadelphia and slapped him around, treated him like a bitch. Then they went down to Texas and they struggled as well. They picked their game back up. They found those bats. Everything got back in the lineup. They're good and healthy and ready to roll. And now they're in Arizona before they come home, and 2 straight series at home to close it out and get ready for the playoffs. Pirates on the board already. So we got to ride the fact here. Look, I talked about 1 versus 1. Taijuan Walker's not the one. I think they're leaving this guy out here to get skewered, roasted, and toasted like a marshmallow being cooked over a campfire on the Atlantic City shoreline. I'm pretty sure you can't start a campfire on the Atlantic City shoreline. But Nelson's 5-1. 2.51 ERA at home. Those are home stats for this guy. He just came off of 6 innings, only gave up 4 hits, and no earned runs. In fact, innings eater in his own right. 6 innings. He's only given up 2 home runs in his last 5 games. That was one game that was against that Texas spot that I aforementioned. Look, I think this is a good Arizona spot. This is just like the Cincinnati Reds last night. Do we see an explosion of runs? I'm not sure. I just think the Phillies, this series is just fuck off and enjoy yourself for a couple of days. Just loosen the grip up on the bat a little bit while you guys get rested and healthy and ready to go out there and fire for Red October. Jay Main says it's Red October, Mikey. You already know what it is. Ricky Levine says pimp slap. Thoughts on Colorado game? Hit the like for the pimp. It's the Angels and the Rockies. Angels are putting a pincushion out there in Ferris, though. This dude. But look, it's Blaylock on the other side, so you're not getting the best out of this guy. I can tell you from a Rockies perspective, should expect some runs. Non-divisional home games, if they've gone over in consecutive spots, goes over again. 10-0 to the over are the Rockies in those spots. But maybe you look at the Colorado Rockies team total over. Maybe that's the best way to extract that cash, because what we've seen is this batting cool down situation specifically for the Los Angeles Angels. I put them in the top 5 of the bullpen, or in the top 5 of my batting order early in the season, but season's getting on. They're done. They're checked out. And the Rockies line has come down, plus 116 now, plus 108, 77% of the bets, 88% of the cash. And the Angels line has come down from minus 136 to minus 120. Look at this total. Sky high. This is where you got to take this got to be a Colorado team total. You know what? I think I'm going to add that. 11.5s. Now we're seeing 12s. Man, that's a big number. And if Colorado's going to win and the game's looking like it's going over, Colorado's got to be scoring some runs. Let's see what we can find the Colorado. Let's see what we can find this Colorado line at. Colorado. That's not Colorado. That is. That's Colorado. I know I talked about not liking team totals in baseball the other day, but here I am on team totals, and I got another one coming up for you guys. So stay tuned. Get ready. Oh, 5.5. It's only minus 109s, minus 110s. Yeah. All right. We're going to take this Colorado team total over 5.5. I can get a minus 109 right now, so I'm going to lock that in. We'll add that play. What the hell? Why not? SF9er says, what happens on Red October? Fill me in. The Phillies go out there and smash. They are the red team. It's October, means it's playoff baseball, and the Phillies go out there and smash in Red October. That's what happens in Red October. Good question. All right, Colorado, team total over 5.5, minus 109 for anybody that wants to see it on the screen. There she is. And let's talk. I love this spot. I was tempted to go out there and fire on the New York Liberty. I told you guys a couple months ago, I thought the two teams, the defending champion Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. Well, the Lynx came back, handled business. TJ says SF9 says not buying that for $1. I'm like, hey, look, I didn't make it up. It is what it is. So as far as these playoff games are concerned, there's no doubt the Liberty have dealt with some injuries, and I think that's impacting certainly their performance. This series is tied against the Phoenix Mercury. It's a 3-game series to start the season, or to start the postseason, right? So the first round, 3 games. Keep them gals fresh and rested, ready to go. The problem that we're seeing right now with the Liberty is really it's not addition by subtraction. It's subtraction by subtraction. And look, the Phoenix Mercury have been playing a hell of a defense. Breanna Stewart being out of this thing is really impacting a team that's sub 500 on the road. That's a problem. But they're defending champs. It's all or nothing at this point. I really like the Liberty on the money line. I had to step back from that. And I'll tell you why. Because just because I said it 2 months ago doesn't mean my feet have to be taped to the pedals. I see what's happening without Breanna Stewart. And we're seeing the challenge that they're facing. Now, they are 1-1. So, we'll give them some respect that they're able to claw into the series and keep it competitive. And, I'm certainly a little concerned about the Mercury. But look, I think this team can fire. In fact, I got some playoff trends for you guys to consider in this spot. Gotta love this one. You're a home favorite, you lose. Now you go on and you're a dog. Man, if you're a home favorite and you lost, the next game in the playoffs, you're 13-2 on your team total over. You come back and fire. You're pissed. It's playoffs. Money on the line, you lost, so you're getting a little bit of a better number instead of artificially inflating it because you just came off a win. And if you make him a dog, it's a perfect 12-0. Shout out to the fine folks of SDQL for presenting that information out there. I'll take the team total. Gosh, 15-7 are the Phoenix Mercury at home. That's a little concerning for a team that's sub 500 on the road. But you got to love those bounce back numbers. Got to love what you see with those. I'm going to take it. I'm going to fire on it. Kelly V says Mercury all the way. Hey, they can win. I just need 80 points from the Liberty. Liberty. I don't know. Look, we saw Fever go into Atlanta and kick the shit out of them last night. So the defending champions, Phoenix Mercury, and Breanna Stewart should be back and ready to attack. So Cincinnati Reds are on the board. Cincinnati Reds are up 1-0. Okay. SF9 says, I give up on her. She balls out. I bet her. She shits the bed. Jay Main says, I took the Marlins on this Freaky Friday. SF9 says, hope I don't see Liberty again for a while. Derek B says, I dislike the W. Man, we have had a fantastic run, especially right here on this show, on this channel. All right, I already talked to you guys about the Iowa Rutgers game. We won't be redundant. I expect scoring. I expect Iowa. Tarek B likes, or I think it was Tarek B, said first half maybe for Rutgers. Okay. And I'll give you guys this cash flow splits. Then we'll talk about that last game. We'll put a bow on the show, and we'll get up out of here to get this weekend kicked off in the right direction. 8 p.m. Iowa Hawkeyes, Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Minus 114's moved to minus 125 on the Iowa Hawkeye side of things with 75% of the bets, only 54% of the cash. We've seen the public get busted up. It was a Friday night spot, though. I think it's a little different. 42.5 has moved to 46 and now 46.5. So you're continuing to see movement in the over direction. The secret's out. These aren't the teams of 10 years ago playing in the Big Ten. 53% of the bets and 58%, I almost said Big East. 53% of the bets and 58% of the cash are on the over. 42.5 moved to 46. The only other game to talk about is the 7:30 start. That's the Tulsa Golden Hurricane and the Oak State, Oklahoma State Cowboys. 57% of the bets and 70% of the cash are on the Golden Hurricane. Tulsa, 14.5. This line's dropped to 10. 55.5 was the opening line. It's come down a point. And you have 60% of the bets on the over, 59% of the cash. To me, this is a bad spot for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. You just got thumped, fist fucked by Oregon. We called it. Coach was calling people out. This is going to be his last year. This is the Gundy last year's tour right now. Calls out Oregon, says, we don't get the big dollars like that to go buy players. We have to develop them from within, and we need every dollar that we spend to count towards a win, not just to put players on the bench and yada, 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 yada. And Oregon responded and said, it's not our fault. Our boosters want us to have a winning program. And they went out there and they put the belt to ass. Now they got this Tulsa game, a 1-2 Tulsa team, 1-2 against the spread. Is that a concern? Well, look, it's scheduling spot. They got Baylor on deck next. Does this Tulsa game matter? That's the ultimate question when it comes down to it. And I think you got a little look ahead factor that comes into this thing. So they got the extra day's rest in there as well. So because they're playing on Friday, they'll have Saturday. I don't know that they treat that like a mini bye, but I do know this. This is a big game for the Golden Hurricanes. You guys know I love the big brother, little sister situations out there. And I think Tulsa, not that they're a live dog, but I just think it's too many points. These guys are going to come in on a Friday night game against their big brothers, crosstown rivals, if you will. And they're going to want to show up, at least early. The reason I took the first half and not I like the full game too, but the reason I took the first half specifically is because I thought they can come out motivated and they can catch that Oklahoma State team trying to still figure things out and put the pieces back together. But I do suspect that in the second half, that separation of quality and talent will prevail, and we'll see Oklahoma State start to pull away from it a little bit more. I just looked at this and thought, can Tulsa come into this big spot on Friday night under the bright lights, nationally televised game, and compete early? And then can Gundy go out there and make the adjustments in the second half, comb that mullet, and try to figure out a way to put Oklahoma State on top and cover by more than 10? Seems like a tall order. Seems like this first, just like the Miami game last night, close early, better team pulls away in the second half, and then they just kind of play with their food until it comes time to close that game out, take the extra day's rest, and get ready for Baylor, who's a very beatable Baylor, by the way. We faded Baylor in week 1 against Auburn. That was easy money. And I suspect Tulsa gets this first half W for us here tonight. That's it, you guys. That's it. We're putting a bow on the show. It's 7:02 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys all for checking us out here tonight. Shout out to the Who Bangin' and Razor Sharp crew over there in Atlantic City. hopefully you guys get a little saltwater taffy. That's what I was thinking. Get a little saltwater taffy on the boardwalk. Go for a nice little stroll. Get a slice of pizza on that boardwalk, man. That place is pretty solid too. Enjoy yourselves, fellas. Be safe. Be careful. Everybody have a great weekend. Make sure you guys check us out. Over at Winnable, you can get all of our best bet selections. Get them sent right to your phone via text. Derek B says, would you parlay Oklahoma and Iowa for plus 128? No, because Iowa's minus 125 right now. So you're adding 50 cents for a team that's a double-digit favorite to go out there and win. And then you have to have two outcomes come through in that spot there. It just doesn't seem like it's risk reward for me. I mean, it's your money, Tarek. It's a good question. Plus 10, should they win? Should Tulsa lose or beat this team outright? I don't know. Stranger shit has happened. Especially if Gundy's lost the locker room. I'm assuming you're talking about Oklahoma State. If you're not, and you're talking about Oklahoma. Yeah, maybe that's a different story. That's it, you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll be back on Monday for pre-gaming, but you can find Ramon Scott tomorrow, 9 a.m. Giving out that morning steam. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep